G'day, this is Australianguy Films. I'm Pitbull and welcome to my channel. Today I'm in central Portugal, about an hour and a half's drive from the coast. And throughout my travels in Portugal, I've been seeing fishermen lining the waterways and rivers and catching themselves a feed of fish. So today I had time and I decided to stop and take a look and see what it was they were doing. So the fishing rules in Portugal are quite strict. It's not a case of going down to the fishing store and buying yourself a fishing license. These guys actually sit an annual exam to renew their fishing license, and they're all very, very serious fishermen. The fishing gear these guys were using was kind of amazing. These fishing poles were 50-60 feet long, reach all the way across the river, and they each broke down into 10 to 15 foot lengths. Most of the fishermen had 2 or 3 fishing poles standing by. They have these incredible seats that double up as a tackle box and a workbench, and some of them had 3 or 4 or 5 drawers full of fishing gear. Although the fishing poles only had a few feet or up to 5 or 6 feet of fishing line tied to the end, a little size 16 hook on the end, and they were using maggots as bait. These guys were all very, very serious fishermen. I personally grew up on the Great Barrier Reef, where our fishing was a little bit more heavy tackle. In fact, we used to use 50-pound tuna as live bait, and we'd be hunting 1,000-pound black marlin. These guys fish for what they can, and each fisherman, as you know, in your area fishes for what you have in your area, so you use the gear specific for that. I found this really, really interesting, the way they were fishing. Quite unusual, but each fisherman had their toolboxes and tackle boxes and spare rods and nets and a big long fishing net that dropped down into the water that they were dropping their catch into. As the old saying goes, give a man a fish, you feed him for a day. Teach a man to fish, you feed him for life. I'm not sure one of these fish would feed a man for a whole day, but these guys were catching quite a number of these little fish. And I saw 2 or 3 different species of fish being hauled in by the different fishermen. There's quite a lot of weed in the water, so I can understand why nobody's flicking lures around trying to catch the bigger fish that are in the water. But one thing I didn't quite understand is why none of the fishermen were fishing with just a line and a short rod that dropped down below them. I guess that's all part of the knowing your local area and where the fish hide. It's probably a bit quieter over on the other side of the river away from the road, and maybe that has something to do with it. One of the things that really impressed me was none of these guys just had basic equipment. They were all kitted out with these seats and rod rollers that they were storing the pieces of rod, and the amount of bait that they all had with them suggested that they were going to be sitting there for quite a few hours today, catching enough fish to feed their families. Unfortunately, I don't speak Portuguese. I've only been in Portugal for a few weeks, and I haven't picked up enough of the language to have a good conversation with these guys and find out too many details about what they're doing and how they're doing it. So it's all visual for me, and I was kind of impressed with how serious these guys are about their fishing. If you're watching this and you know a little bit more about what they're doing and how and why, then please drop a comment in the comment section below, educate the rest of us. And guys, if you like this video, please hit that subscribe button below. It gives me confidence to know that I'm not wasting my time. My channel can be quite random, but I'm sure that some of my videos will be interesting to some of you, and those videos that aren't interesting you can just pass right over. So anyway, that's it for today. Tight lines and smooth seas for all of you, and I wish you all the best on your next fishing adventures.